Hello everyone. Welcome back to another great episode of The Good Word with yours truly, Mr. Frederick. All right, guys, let me get right into it today. Today, we are going to talk about no exceptions, no excuses. All right, we get right into it, family. And what I mean by that is, as we develop family, as we grow, that's what this channel is all about. We're all about growing, developing, and learning new ways to become our best self, okay, your highest self, to ascend. And one thing you got to understand is that exceptions and excuses are one of the limiting practices that we do that literally sabotages us. We make exceptions, excuses. We know what's right. We know logically what makes sense. And a lot of times we don't act off of it. And so therefore it's like it's kind of a cognitive dissonance. We know, okay, this is what you need to do, but we might do something different because we're acting off of wounds. We might be acting off of emotion, feelings, just the wrong process, okay, of decision making and how we relate to others, how we, make our decisions. And don't feel bad. A lot of it's not your fault. You at some point had to learn how to do this in a better way in survival mode. Usually, again, like I always talk about, you come from these dysfunctional families, they really handicap you in that sense of making the best decisions for you that represent your self-love, your self-worth, your self-respect, and discipline. And just doing things that are going to be beneficial to you. Because when you come up in dysfunctional systems, those family systems that are in you, that's why it's so important you get that out of you and you don't operate off of that. But those functions that are in you, family, you'll understand that the reason why they're so poisonous is because they literally set you up for failure or to not do as great as you should do. Okay, if you had support, if you had more a secure a relation type of attachment style in relationships as opposed to an insecure attachment style in relationships, you can't really have that coming from that bad background. That's why you first got to recognize that poisonous background. Okay, it's dysfunctional. It's not good. Now you can't overcome it, but you got to do the work for it. All right. So understand that when you have expectations, exceptions, and excuses that you make for people, you give them an opening to literally prey on you. Because you might know, okay, I need to do this, or this person's dangerous, or that, but you're not acting off of that because you say, oh, well, this person is this to me, and I'm not going to be I'm going to be a little lenient on them. I'm going to let them slide with that because this person is, say, my family member, or this person is my lover, or no. Family, when you're making decisions that are improving you, you cannot have that mindset. You will be in a bad place every time you make a decision based on hoping someone could be and give you something that you didn't get from people you were supposed to get it from. It's always going to put you in a bad way. Now, there's a solution for that. The solution is first, get away from those people, and next, no exceptions, no excuses. You apply the rule to everyone across the board. You can't look at what you think someone should be to you. You have to look at what they are to you. This is how you see in the news. You see kids taking out their parents now. It's crazy. It's literally, it's crazy. That's what they say is the end of times. You see the most horrific type of things going on, and you see this because of the world we live in today. It's not the way it's supposed to be. It's the way it is, and that's why you have to apply this around the board, across the board. If anyone is bringing confusion, negativity into your life, get them out of your life. I don't care who they are. Like I always tell you, that goes into the story I saw. Yeah, I guess it was a few months ago. Maybe might have almost been a year ago. But anyway, NBA player. I think you guys know which one I'm talking about. But he had a kid with this. I guess she was an Instagram model. I don't know what she was, but he had a kid with her, and he said he signed a contract that said, I guess he gave her like $1 million and something. Hey, I don't want nothing to do with this kid. Don't come back. You can't come back for any more child support. I don't want, listen, I just leave me alone. Give you this money, leave me alone. And when I first heard it, I thought to myself, wow, that's pretty cold. That's pretty vicious that this man would literally say, I don't want nothing to do with this child. Hey, I'm giving you money so you can support $1 million, 18 years. That's pretty good money if you really think about it. That's probably more than most people make a year, 18 years. You divide it up, so it's not a bad deal financially. I think it was a little more than, I think it might have been like 2 million. But either way, it was not a bad deal. But family, looking at that story, I was appalled at it at first, but then I thought about it and I said to myself, I was looking at that the wrong way. As I observed it even more, yeah, morally you could say it's wrong because he's not there for the child. But you don't know the circumstances that he had that child in. And with the motives of someone who has a child with an NBA player they barely know, it's more than likely not good. She's having a child for money, more than likely. Allegedly. I mean, it could be assumed that would be, if you just exclude all, while she having this kid, she doesn't even, she could say religion. People could use all sorts of excuses, but more than likely, someone who's rich and famous like that, let's just be real. They're literally a victim in a lot of ways of people who want to prey on getting that money. And when you think about that, if he's on travel all the time and never really can be around anyway, he knows that the motives more than likely weren't genuine and getting with the kid. He made a logical decision. He made a business decision. I'm more than likely not going to be able to influence this kid in a way that he can or she could see me and deal with me in a certain kind of way. Okay? So this is just my thoughts on it. When I examined it even more, I said to myself, I can't look at it the way I was originally looking at it. I got to look at it another way. He's saying, I'm not really going to have the input in this kid. So more than likely, she can poison the kid to say anything, think anything, but basically be a pariah to me. And I'm going to wash my hands with it. And I can't judge that man. I'm not saying it was right or wrong, but I am not going to say it's wrong. The original thought I had was it was wrong. I'm not going to say that because a lot of times you will see individuals might try to prey off of a wound or your lack of self-worth, him not protecting himself, and then boom, now he's having a kid that he did not want to have. He didn't plan. He just wanted to, clap some cheeks, as they say. More likely, obviously, because you see what he did. And when you think about that, family, I'm not going to judge him because you could look at it the other way around, say it was a smart move. He's avoiding a lot of, I guess, turmoil that he might have later on. And I'm not going to judge him. But at least my mind is not one-sided as it was at first when I say, okay, it's just morally bad that he's doing this. Because I don't know the situation. And that's the way I'm saying that we have to evolve our thinking, family, is that sometimes when we think with our emotions and sometimes when we think off of what we want it to be, what it should be in a idealistic world, this world's not ideal. It's a lot of people out there that literally, they are just meaning no good for you to be in your life. It's just to extract. It's to prey on whatever you can, however they can benefit from you in any kind of way. And I'm pretty sure NBA players and movie stars and rappers, people that have the high visibility, a lot of money, they know this more than anyone because they're a big target. But us regular people, I don't like to really say that, but I say us people with less visibility, okay, maybe less financial resources, might not really understand that. So that's why we should delay judgment on that type of individual. Because if you look at the world as to how it should be, you're always going to lose. And that's why I say, going back to the NBA, you got to develop like Michael Jordan. When Michael Jordan got older, he developed that turnaround jumper. Okay, he would back you up, turn around, hit the fade. Because he couldn't just dominate you athletically any longer. And that's what you have to develop as you get older, family. And doing that, a vital piece is no excuses, no exceptions. You have to understand that when you think logically about things, don't think of how they're supposed to be. Think of how they really are in the world. Okay, I mean, they call a ball, a strike a strike. Someone is in your life and they feel they can get something off of you, and they've shown that to you, that that's all they're concerned about is what they can get from you. That's what it is, family. Forget what it should be or what you want it to be. That is what it is. It is literally someone who's trying to prey off of you. And the sooner you understand that, family, the better off you'll be in life. The longer it takes you to accept that, you're going to find yourself in bad situations over and over again because you're not accepting what it is. You're not accepting that this is a predator. This is a abuser. This is, once you identify it, know what it is. And because when you let one individual or one instance get through, lack of respect, lack of boundaries, lack of truth and being honest with yourself, seeing things as they are, it opens up the gates for everything else. And that's all it takes is one time. So you have to be strict with this. You have to be consistent and disciplined with your boundaries and how you see things. Never question how you see something. If something looks wrong, it usually is. Don't let no one tell you anything different. That is your survival instincts over the years. Don't let your past wounds, don't let your disappointments, don't let gaslighting, liars, manipulators infiltrate you. If you have one in, that's how it works. It's like poison, slow drip. So, to go off of what you think, family, understand that the old way served you to a certain extent, and it no longer serves you, just like Michael Jordan. He had to develop that fade jumper because he couldn't be athletic anymore. If you see that you were operating off of this way for years and years of your life, and it got you situations that you didn't like, however they came about, you have to implement change. If you don't implement the change, you're going to get the same result. If you don't implement the change, family, you're going to get the same results you've been getting. Same for you got to remember, don't forget treatment that someone's giving you. Okay, because that came from somewhere. Don't look through it through rosy glasses. It is what it is. That treatment came from somewhere. They could come back later on and say, oh, well, this and this and this. No, but wait a minute. Where did that come from? Where did that treatment come from? Let's rewind. Let's go back. And when you do that, you're going to see, all right, has that problem been resolved? No. So what do you think you're going to get again? Same treatment, different day. If you accept excuses and exceptions and what you want it to be. So that's why you have to go by that principle, family. Cut all of that stuff out. Run your life the way you want to run it, okay? You are the CEO. No one else. You're responsible for the results. You're going to take all the hits. No one else is going to take the hits like you for your decisions but you. Because when it comes down to getting the bad end of the stick of your decisions, everyone's going to back away from you. They're going to say, oh, I don't have nothing to do with that. I'm good. I don't want nothing to do with that. They only want the benefit, okay? They only want the benefit of being around you. When it comes to your emotional needs, when it comes to maybe your financial, when it comes to your shortcomings, when it comes to any sort of pain, any sort of negative that might require that other individual to do work, that's when you're going to see the true character of who they are, not why they're benefiting off of you. And I like to use the word fluck. Fluck, okay? It's an L in there. You can't give a fluck. You really have to have that, family. I laugh saying that, but you can't give a fluck. You got to have that type of mentality. You can't give a fluck. I'm telling you, a lot of times you care about things and people and situations that you just should not. And that's why I go back to that story with the NBA player. And that, yeah, he should, in a moralistic, ideal world, care about, but we don't know with that one what he knows about that woman or what's the situation is. So reserve judgment on that. Maybe he had to develop, hey, I can't give a fuck about this situation. This is bad. Any kind of way I look at it. It's people that poke holes in rubbers and all sorts of stuff to have kids for a check. And I'm not just going to say it's all women. It's men do things too, and maybe in a different kind of way. But at the end of the day, whether you're a man or woman, you have to protect yourself. And the more excuses, the more exceptions you make, you put yourself at a detriment. You put yourself at a deficit because you're becoming vulnerable to individuals that don't have your best interests at heart. And if you're going to sin, if you're going to really practice self-worth, self-love, especially if you're coming from a situation where that was not embedded in you, that was not consistent enough for you to embody it all the time. And that's the root of a lot of these addictions. When you see a lot of people drinking, smoking, they always have to be doing something, always got to be high. A lot of times these things are because of that lack of self-worth, that finding a purpose, codependency. Oh, you're deflecting, not wanting to sit with yourself and be okay with you. What are your needs? What are your thoughts? What are your emotions? Okay, so if you don't pay attention and honor those and keep them first, you're going to try to make someone else's yours. And that's backwards. That's operating outside in. It's inside out, family. If you're going to see your life improve, you have to practice first your inner dialogue. What do you say to yourself? What do you believe in? What do you believe you deserve? Or if not, someone else is going to dictate that to you. And you find yourself with terrible situations. And you wonder how you get those situations. Well, it's rooted in you. Now, granted, initially, you didn't probably have the tools to identify that and to, conduct yourself in a way where you were going to get a better life, better situations. But once you get the information, family, it's on you. That's the way I look at it. I don't have any control over what tools I was given when I was young. You got control over what you do with you now. If you still here, that means, hey, you survived everything. That means your mind, your body, soul used what it could to make it to this point. And now it's your responsibility to go to the next level. And that's why I say no exceptions, no excuses. That's an important part of going to the next level. Don't let people play on your emotions. Don't let people play on your perceived weaknesses. If the reason why you might have predatory people around you is because they see a weakness. They see something that they can benefit off of. As soon as they can't benefit, they will leave. They will depart. But you will see this pattern repeatedly in your life if you don't nip it in the bud and say, hey, no, this is the way I run this ship. You can't come around me with disrespect. You can't come around me with lies. You can't come around me with deception, with gaslighting. I can't be manipulated by sex. I can't be manipulated by money. I can't be manipulated religiously. Because yes, it is a lot of people who manipulate you through religion. So you got to watch out for those false prophets. And I'm all about God. I'm all about spirituality, having a higher belief. That's what sustains me. But I'll tell anyone, don't let false prophets come into your life. Pretend to have this, because a predator studies you. Oh, you into God. Oh, you into the word. I'm into the word too. I'm saved. No, they're not. They are just using what they've observed about you. You got to know the difference, family. And this is why I say you can't have no exception, no excuses, because when you start to have the exception, excuses, you say, yeah, this person had this problem, but guess what? God can save them. So maybe God is working through me to help them. That's how your mind will work if you make excuses. No, I see this as bad. I see this as coal and not diamonds. And no Bible verse is going to convince me otherwise. God will tell you, do not be deceived, okay, by false prophets. You must test the spirit, and you know them by their fruits. So understand, family, when you set up how you run your life, how your boundaries are set up, your expectations, don't make exceptions and excuses. If someone brings you garbage, it's garbage. I don't care if it's coming from your mother, your father. I don't care if it's coming from your sister, your brother, your lover, your sister's girlfriend, ex-classmate, third cousin removed. I don't care who it's coming from. Trash is trash. You can't put sugar on ish, okay? And that has to be one of your fundamental rules if you want to take it to the next level, because you'll have that around you, okay? And you know what they say, you are who you're around. Show me where you're going. Show me the 5 people you're around the most, and I'll tell you where you're going. That is where you're going. You're going wherever they're at. So it's better for you to be alone than to be in bad company. And I'm going to leave it on that note, family. All right, next time, remember, follow me on TikTok. You can follow me on Instagram, Sprouting Crowns, Instagram, as well as Facebook. Love what you do what you love. Peace.